My name is Michael McKenzie, artist named Mike McKenzie, representing real life.
My name is Jesse. I go by Catch Right. I grew up right out here in Roxbury, Eggleston Square area. Hip hop artist, marketing director for Scope Urban Apparel.
What's up, everybody? My name is Janelle. I go by Lyric Jones. Currently living in Atlanta, Georgia, by way of here, Beantown. Just doing my thing out in the A.
Well, my name is Bethany Palmer, and I'm originally from Connecticut, and I came up to Boston for school, and I graduated in 2010.
I live in JP, but I represent all of Boston, period.
All that good shit.
My name is Jake. I'm 22. I'm from Jamaica Plain, Boston, and I do graphic web design for a lot of these music cats out here, and then I also do all the design and communication stuff for Scope Urban Apparel.
Well, my name is Javier Millen. I'm a current dancer. I've been dancing for about, let me see, this 2012. So like almost 8 years now. What inspired me to dance was basically the passion and love for dance. The way I found out about Crump was word of mouth. My older brother's a dancer, so he basically like put me on to like this whole movement. And then after I seen the movie Rise, then I definitely was just like, it grabbed me. When something just grabs you, and you know that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, or that's what you're gonna do for the rest of your life. It basically just grabbed me and told me, and that's what it did for me. And ever since then, ever since I saw the movie, it was a wrap. I just kept dancing and dancing and dancing until where I am now. Basically, and it helped me find out who I am as a better person, what I want to do in life, and where I can really go with this.
I would describe my music more so as a big conglomeration of hip hop and soul, maybe at different points varying to either side. But I think it's a big melting pot of all of the assets of music that I've drafted from jazz, soul, R&B, and hip hop. But I would say more hip hop, soul. For the people who want to put things in categories, I think it's easier to associate.
Fashion to me is it's another means of expressing yourself, you know. For us, kind of like the hip hop generation or whatever you want to call it, it's one of many ways we choose to express ourselves. And with the t-shirt line, we were just trying to represent people who kind of think like us, you know what I mean? So
yeah, and sort of more on that, like you know, me personally, I'm not necessarily a high fashion type of guy. I don't like to spend a lot of money on my clothes, and I also don't think that that necessarily adds value to them. I think you know, a lot of our society is kind of caught up on brand names and having a brand name on your chest, and you don't even know what that means. It's somebody else's identity and value, something that they created that, you know, you're promoting because you think it's cool or whatever. So we make shirts that have ideas, messages, information, stuff that we think is cool, and we hope that people don't rock Scope because it's like the cool brand, but because they identify with what we're talking about on the shirts, you know. And then in terms of what we're talking about, we kind of try to address things that people don't like to talk about or that we see as lacking in the general conversation. So.
Art is something that engages a person and makes them think beyond what they normally would. So whatever that may be, and whatever that vehicle is what art is.
Pretty much got into music. Always been into music, but as far as me taking it seriously, one of the artists that I'm cool with go by Moon Daddy. He really got me into it probably a good 3-4 years ago, as far as being serious about it, but I've always been into music.
The songs I remember most as a child, I sometimes tell this story, I think this is the most vivid, but I was 6 years old and me and my dad was driving, and I remember Electric Relaxation off the Midnight Marauders album, Tribe Called Quest. So I think for me, self-consciously, that was my way of being integrated into jazz and hip hop at the same time. And it kind of made sense as I got older why I understood music the way I did, because that's how how I understood, you know, that was my first introduction to hip hop at 6. And then of course, you know, just songs on the radio like New Jack Swing. You know, I was everything, you know, kids would know on the radio in the early 90s. I would think would be that, as well as jazz music, Stevie Wonder records, things like that, Sade records. So it was a big melting pot. But I think Midnight Marauders for me would be the album that really got me into realizing why I love hip hop and jazz at the same time.
When did you realize you wanted to become a fashion designer or into the fashion world?
I didn't really
I never saw
want to
myself
become
that,
a designer, clothing line, any of that. I started as just a graphic and web designer originally. My partner Jetto, wish he was here right now, but he's out doing the thing on the work. But he came to me originally, wanted me to work on a logo for him, and just that was it. But from there, we sort of got really into the same things. We were talking about ideas for the shirts, concepts, and I was like, I like the idea behind this brand, that you have some sort of socially conscious, you know, connection to it, and I don't really want to keep having to charge you, because that would slow the whole process down. So let's just be partners, and we could work on it together. You do, you know what I mean? This is the business. You do the business side. I'll do the design side. Pull Jesse in on the marketing side. All of it was orchestrated by Bird, who also cannot be here, but shout out to Bird for making this happen. And so with that, you know, I kind of got drawn in and just found myself designer of a clothing company. I didn't see myself doing that, and I don't really consider that the main thing that I do.
Yeah, I think for me it was kind of the same thing. I think for a while I was just real resistant to any kind of popular fashion at all. You know what I mean? Kind of with a background in hip hop and the streets and whatnot. But you know, over time, you know, when the idea for Scope started to develop and the team started to formulate, I took an active role in it and started to develop more of an appreciation, I guess, for just you know, the different ways you can, you know, dress and express yourself, like I said. So
didn't start out into it, but like now start noticing and paying attention to the details and things that never even interested me before.
Well, first of all, of course, I got to shout out Moon Daddy. He the one who got me started. But besides him, like I said, all I listen to is, you know, Joe Budden, of course, Weezy, like Dedication to Weezy on that type. You know, J. Cole. Like I said, I pretty much got diverse ears, man. I'm even like down with rock music.
I've been painting for a really long time, especially this style. So I guess I'll start with this style. I've been painting in this style since high school. So
How long ago was that?
okay. 03, 9 years. 9 years. Yeah, 9 years. And before that, I liked drawing. I liked doing everything. So I wasn't really a painter.
What advice do you have for aspiring artists?
Be committed and know that you want to do something. Don't teeter-totter. You have to know that this is what you want to do and really focus on it. And all of the gifts and all of the rewards will come as they will. Like, don't go into it expecting to make $3,000 off of a painting. It's not going to happen. Go into it with your heart and your passion. Don't go into it expecting other things.
Where do you get your inspiration?
I'm inspired by my culture, and my culture is so vibrant and our history is so rich. When I say our culture, I mean, you know, people of color. My family's from the South, and so I pull a lot of inspiration from that, you know, just in song and church and quilt making, the fashion, all of those things are huge inspirations in terms of what I do and how I execute.
I really think it was coming to Berkeley while I was, you know, joint enrolled at college here and in high school at the same time, kind of like messed my mind up. And by that meaning in a good way, being so young and seeing a whole bunch of like my brothers and big brothers and sisters per se doing career things on a music level, you know, like having families, raising them, touring, and able to sustain themselves as artists. And like it was a cool thing to do, you know, like being around teenagers, 18, 19, 20, always talking about music. That was what I was around, whether it was the church scene or being here at school at Berkeley all the time. It was just like it was the end thing. So I think naturally loving music and then being around those type of people made me realize this was something I wanted to do for real.
Say, 1, don't be biased. 2, always work hard. 3, try to network as much as possible. Because right now, the game's kind of like in a place where people have to, pretty much people who's getting on the people that knows other people. If you don't know, the right people, then you're not going to get anywhere. So you got to make sure you're out there, talking to DJs, talking to everybody. Everybody plays favorites, and I realize that. So also, if you're trying to move anywhere, you cannot do it by yourself. You need a crew, you need a team, you need people that's going to help you, to do different things. It's impossible for you to do everything that you need to do by yourself.
From doing this, I started teaching classes, younger kids, suburban areas or urban areas, of all kinds, of all ages. So this has really just opened doors for me everywhere, from shows to classes to events to banquets and all types of crazy stuff. Like, it's just crazy where you might start your talent and might take it. You just never know where you can go with it. The more you want to keep pursuing it.
Have I ever been overlooked? All the time, I think. And I think it's because people have an idea of what an artist looks like and what an artist is. And as soon as it's not in that package, people are kind of like, well, what the hell? Where'd you come from? Why are you doing that? And so Boston is overlooked. Boston is one of like the founding cities. And when I talk about culturally rich, it's here, like we have so much, we've contributed so much to the city, and yet it becomes, whatever, who cares? And people are so quick to like settle here and then, pick up and leave, especially artists they want to stay here, they don't want to stay here, they go to New York after they graduate. But if you stay here and you're ambitious, then people will fall in line and people will support you. So that's why I stayed.
Dope, you're gonna be dope. You know what I mean? That's regardless. But if you're dope and nobody can put the face with the name and nobody sees you doing your thing, then it's kind of null and void. So
so follow your dreams and know what can happen.